Yes, early morning streaming. Well, it's early for me. I've got donuts and I've got coffee. How do I do this now? Oh, that was it, yeah. Let's switch you over to our capture card. My name's Fraser Sharp. Welcome to the stream. There we go. Start time, 10:05. Let's do it. It's a refactor stream for the mornings. I've got a new layout. We've even got music. Isn't that awesome? And I've got donuts. Come on, donuts. I'm having me breakfast. Just one will do. Can't get into it. Haha. Clever, isn't it? Don't worry, they're only mini ones. They're only about an inch across. Mini donuts. Right. What's this refactor business all about? Well, have I got some surprises for you today? Now, I know that some people are going to watch this on YouTube, so if you do, please feel free to comment if you want the documentation or not, because we now have it. File. There we go. You can now run it. Filled it all in yesterday. And it does something very, very important. Well. Have a look at this. Let's have a look at main. Let's see if it's done it. Yes, it has. What's going on with these windows? Can't get hold of it. It's typical, isn't it? Can you come here? No, you won't come over to me. Why? Never mind. Look, this is important. Let's see if we can get a bit more of a window. I'm having troubles with my windows. I'm not used to this system yet. Yes, we have this, which shows who's using what.
We both have thoughts of leaving when thoughts get thrown around.
We also have a full listing now of our globals.
Out in arms, you were all cried out, 'cause we don't feel like throwing it all away. We don't feel like it.
See, Meg has a few globals I didn't know about. This will be mostly components for our ECS system.
It's not
I don't think we've got any macros, have we? Oh, yes, we have.
We don't feel like it.
Alright, this is hash defined. Yes, this could become very useful. Let me just take this off a minute. Oh, I'm not going to have much luck with that. I don't think we're going to need it anyway. Right, we have a new display. I hope people like it. If you don't, if you want it smaller again, then let me know. Right, we need to refactor to get ready for this afternoon. I'm still eating, so... got sugar all over me. In fact, we don't really have that much.
But this time it's not about escaping. We don't feel like it.
This is looking alright, actually. I like this display. I can read it easily. Here we go, the runtime loop. This afternoon we're going to do the most simplistic collision detection that I can think of. I'm doing it that way on purpose. But there's also something else happening here. That quite a lot of programmers who, well, beginner programmers or even experienced programmers might just have a little bit of a headache with. And it's the order matters. The order that you compose, I suppose, your code within matters. So what we have here is two different things happening in this player moves business. Firstly, we have the thing player moves, which is an event. And secondly, we have a camera movement, which is done using current key states. So we've got both concepts in the same file, which is fine. But what I want to do is I need to move this area. This should come first. It should take priority. You'll see why. Probably this afternoon. Right, there we go. Everything up to there. Cut it out. So there's our player movement. By the way, we have to add keyboard. I realised afterwards. And after the end of the poll loop, we just put in our camera. And that's it. That's the whole of the refactor. Now you might say that's not refactoring, that's just moving a block of code. No, it has a refactoring implication in that we can now use current key states within these if statements. Why would you want to do that? Yeah. It might be advantageous for us to do so. How's about that? Now also, what we have here is left shift key depressed. what we really should have is current key states and left shift key depressed. So again, this is a refactor. Double if, not needed. So we can cut that from there. And all we need to do here is press and. That. And that's the same thing. And that is important as well, as we are going to find out later. So all we need to do now is go down all of these and put our bit of extra code in. That didn't work very well. That was supposed to go underneath. Anyway. Right, next one. So this is our full refactoring, I think, for today. Why do we do this kind of thing? Does it help with the efficiency of the code? Not always, no. In this case, yes, it does actually, but for a different reason. There we go, we're just logical anding and adding the other statements in. I thought I'd leave that till today, rather than do it off camera, as I normally do with refactoring. I do have a tendency to do it that way. I've just pressed something silly there. Don't know what I pressed. There we go. Pretty simple stuff, yes. But refactoring is. It's not supposed to be complicated. That's the whole point to it. Right. I'm happy with that. Code. Thank you, just pull it all back in. And now we read down the line again. That's better. But there's also something else going on here which I wanted to talk to you about today, and that's the if statement. Are if statements really needed? There's a simple answer, no. You can write perfect code without an if statement. They're not actually needed. But at the same time, taking them out, is that a good idea? Not always, especially that one there. If we were to change this one, it would run slower. The compiler takes a lot of these out, especially things like that one. So you'd have to look at the assembly code to decide for yourself whether or not an if statement could be optimized. I think we can do that from one of the windows in here. Let's just make sure I've got my spacing right now. No, I haven't. It does tend to take some of my spacing out when I do that. That's better. It's a lot better. Right. So now we have the ability to add a keyboard location to these as well. So the simple way of doing it is just take the first one, I suppose. This one here. For instance. Let's just copy that. Now we have this up at the top. We can now use this line here on player movement. But this time it's an or, because we want mouse or keyboard to be used. So it's 2 pipe lines next to your Z character, bottom left of the keyboard. So we'll get something like that. Now it's not letting us, why not? Current key states undeclared identifier. Have I hidden it? It's on that line. Current key states. We can only place it on this line, and this is why I have these lines on. No, we're not on that line. That line is hidden behind something. We should be on that line. What's that for? While running. Oh right. I've goofed that up, Anna. There you go. That's why. So we can do this kind of trick now. That was a refactoring copy and paste error. I'll probably make plenty more. So now we can use the W key to go forwards. So that's plus. That one is A. So there we go, we can just introduce the mouse and the keyboard together. I think I've also included a problem. Hold on. Aha. I've done something stupid here somewhere. Oh yes, I've hidden it behind player moves. That was the stupid bit. Anyway. So this won't work. W-A. Still gonna put it in. Backwards is S. Because now we have to think about it even more. Which is probably going to be mind-blowing. That's the S key. What's the problem with an S key? Oh. Wrong bracket. There you go. And this is to the Y position. No, this one's up. This is A. I knew I'd get it wrong. So the other one was D. Yeah, plus. Y plus 1 is D. And it won't work. Guaranteed it won't work because that is now hidden behind an if. And remember what we said? Let's see, that will be for the mouse only. So what we can do is we can get rid of this altogether. Actually, we could stick it around this. Oh no, we can't. Right, so what we have is now is here and oh, how did I do that? Yeah, but there's a problem. We're now ORing that with this. So we have to put brackets in. Just make sure. There we go. That statement and that statement are looked at separately. So there we go. That's all we have to put in. It really isn't that hard. Bracket in. And replace. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Put a bracket in. And replace. Yeah, looking good. And this will now work. To a point. But it's now altered our code in a substantial way. One, we can now use mouse and keyboard. Make sure of that actually. Yeah, that's your keyboard. We can see the problem with it already. And mouse, clickety clicks. So, yeah, that is usually a problem, but at the moment it isn't for me. It's something we need to look at though. It is something we need to look at. So that's your scan codes placed in. It's done two things. It's made a problem with the keyboard, that it's too fast, obviously. And it's also given us this update thing, where that wasn't being calculated every time, but it is now. And that's what you got to be aware of. You just changed how long it takes to execute that code. How can we get around that? I don't know yet, but we will. Am I happy with that code? Not really. I don't think it's as good as it was previously. But there's the keyboard for you. A little bit fast. Is it actually usable? I don't think it is. So it's shift just... No, that's not usable.
To the limit.
We're gonna need bigger delays.
To the limit.
We don't have enough delay in our program for it to work. If that makes sense. Okay, let's put it up to... Let's give the CPU a well-earned break for quite a long time. "16 milliseconds is 60 times per second. Times it by 3. Call it 50. That'll still be within the boundaries. Shift F10 did I just look at? Yeah. Right, that should have slowed it down. There you go, it's now usable. Just nearly. Nearly. We can see now that it's slowing down properly. For me, it's not very usable. But it should slow down with a bit more code. That's what I'm hoping. Lovely. So yeah, we now have a 50 millisecond delay in our program just to make the keyboard usable. And we need the program to be slower still. What is... 25s? Can't remember. But 25 frames per second is usually the minimal that I would like. 20 will do. Yeah, 50 milliseconds will probably do it. Yeah, I'm happy with that, because that goes into 1,000, doesn't it? But it's a magic number again. We shouldn't have magic numbers, but we do. Because I'm silly like that. So, lessons learned from this is you can speed your code up immensely by reordering it. You can make your keyboard nearly unusable by reordering it and programming it properly. Makes the keyboard very fast. And has meant we've had to slow our program down immensely by a factor of 5 at the moment. Could even double that. Slow it down by a factor of 10. And I think it'll still work. So that's literally 100. There is something else I need to alter, and that's where the window is being displayed. Now we've got this lovely thing to play with. Here we go, window. How's about that? Fantastic. Shift F10 to make sure it's working good. And yeah, I can single move now. But you can see it now starts to do that juttering thing, which is what it's supposed to do. A lot more than that. I'm still hitting double moves, but I think the rest of the program will stop that in its tracks. Or not, maybe. Right. Yeah, that's working brilliantly. Because personally, this is the way I want to be playing it with the mouse. But the problem is the mouse isn't part of the original game. I've only put that in for myself. It was all keyboard, and didn't include mouse in them dies. Really? So yeah, it's up to you lot whether you want me to take it out. If people decide or send me messages that they want me to take the mouse out, then I will. Same with you YouTubers. Just put it in the comments below. Vote for or against the mouse input. I'm open to whatever the community decides what a roguelike is. At the end of the day, we have to abide by the rules of the roguelike, which is keyboard single input for a turn. So, that's that done. That wasn't what I wanted. Control tab, maybe? Or is it alt tab? I don't know. What's that? Oh, that's Doxy. I think I'll just use this button here. Oh, it's Shift Escape. Silly me. So yeah, that's our window looking nice. I think really, as you can see, it's going to break the program if we get it efficient at this stage. So I'm not looking to refactor and do efficiencies, but I do want to make a note about something at this point. And I want to put it at the top of the main file. Let me just go and get me notes. I think we might call this stream Breakfast with Bladez, where we just look at snippets of code and things like that and see what we can do with it. I left it on the phone. Alright, that's working pretty well. Alright. I can use capitals, don't I? So it's to do. Think about if statements. As they can be changed. They can be taken out. Now, why would you want to do that? I'm about to say. Why would you want to take an if statement out? I'll go into this now. So we have e.g. a times let's do it properly so we can see a times condition for A. And then you can just add as many as you want. B times condition for B. Plus etc dot dot dot. And that's important. That is really important. Close my notes. Two notes. I can close them. Lovely. It's very, very important because an if statement interrupts the CPU. How the CPU works is it tries to load the next block of code to be run in advance. That's how they make CPUs faster. They cache the code and then run a full block of it. The problem with it is if there is an if statement that takes the code out of that block, it's then got to unload that block and load in a new block of code to then process. Does that make sense? And it's that unloading and loading of blocks of code for processing that takes the time. And that is why if statements can cost you performance. Big time. You can speed up your program by, well, a function. Let's call it a function. You can speed up a function by about 1,000. So I am thinking exploring this, but I think we'll do it on the breakfast stream rather than the mainstream where I'm just getting the code done. And that's really all I've got to say for the refactor this morning and breakfast with Bladez. So I will rename this stream. Let's have a look. Stream manager. Edit stream info. So I won't call this programming in C. I will call this no, I'll just put space colon. Oh, wrong keyboard. I want that to be. Yeah, it does. Breakfast with Bladez is now the new title for this section, I think. And all we're doing is refactoring and talking about code. These could be the interesting bits actually that come out of this. There we go, done. Magic. So that's it really. And if there's any questions as well that you want me to answer, in-depth questions, I will answer them if they're put on YouTube or whatever. I'll put them in the Breakfast with Bladez section if you want. And we can make it a questions and answers thing. But it's all up to you. It's up to the community what you want to do with this. There's enough of you now to query, comment, ask me if there's different ways of doing something. I just throw stuff on the screen and I haven't really explained a lot of it because to me it's pretty basic programming that I'm doing. I'm not doing anything complicated this time, but this kind of thing here will start to happen, where we are going to start looking at the assembly code, and we are going to understand this assembly code now. Show you how to understand it. Yeah, because you don't need to know much assembly to actually understand what it's doing. That's the trick to assembly code. Happy, happy, joy, joy. I've run out of coffee, have I? There we go. Shortest stream ever for Bladez. 41 minutes. Wow. Take care. Catch you this afternoon with collision detection for walls, I believe we're doing. Cool. Mouse, come here. There it is. Found it. Catch you this afternoon.